Good evening, everybody. Wee Paddy from across the shuck again, with a final review on the Ganzo Firebird F753m1, and I have the green version. It also comes in black and orange, and I think there's two things I'm going to start now in my new reviews of Ganzo knives. One, I'm going to stop comparing them to what they look like, because that can never happen. It's a budget blade against a blade that's much more expensive, much better steels, the whole shebang. So I'm just going to stop doing that now. I'm just going to review them as Firebird knives, because they are. They're Firebird knives. I'm going to stop. I think Ganzo for years built this brand on knives that were all the same length, about the same width, and they all looked similar to something else. They were about 8¼ inches long, and that was it. 3.5 inch blades, 3¼ to 3.5 inch blades. They were all the same. Well, at the end of last year, they started to come out with smaller knives, which are more budget friendly, and they were, well, not that Ganzo weren't budget, but they're more budget friendly, and I'm talking under $10 and slightly over it. But they were making good small knives. Ganzo has really lifted their game, I believe, over this last year. They have really lifted it. So from now on, I'm just going to do my review on the knife that's in front of me, and I'm not going to compare it to everything else. This knife and the other little Ganzo Delica lookalike, I was comparing it to the Delica. It was the same size, roughly the same weight, and I was trying to make this be this, and that's not going to happen. So that's out of the equation now. From now on, I'm not going to fall into that trap. I can put them down as size comparisons, but that's it. I'm not going to compare it because they're just uncomparable. The Delica is just an amazing knife that this is never going to equal. It might, their knives might look like them, but they're not going to equal it. So I'm going to stop doing that. So let's get on with it now, and I'm going to make this quick and short because I think everybody knows what I feel about this little knife. My previous video would have given it all away. It's about 7 inches long. It's about 2.8 ounces in weight, which is 81 grams. Lovely, light, secondary rather than, well, if you're an office worker, it'd be a great little blade to take into the office. Or if you're somewhere that's sheeple, scared people, this would be nice to go in because it's not big enough to scare anybody. It's got a bit of a stabby blade. We'll take that now and I'll show you. It's got a wee bit of a stabby blade, but it is a nice little knife. There's nothing scary about it. This shouldn't scare anybody away on the factory floor. My review on this is that this is an excellent product. It costs today, and I'll give you today's price. You looked it up before I came in. Today it's $11 delivered, which is under £10 for me. It's just 440C blade is a 440C blade. Excuse me. It's exactly what it is. It's an above average budget blade, and it does the job perfectly well for any given day. It'll last you most of the day, unless you're going to do horrendously difficult tasks of cutting all day long. And that way, to me, take a little sharpener with you. If you're going to have a day like that, take a sharpener. But this will cover anything you want to do in a normal day's work, I think. And it'll last you the whole day. If you're anything like me, when you come home, you sit down at night, you have a cup of tea, strop it, it usually comes back. But if it doesn't, it takes 2 minutes in the Spyderco, and that's it, back to sharpness again, put it away, ready for the next time. But to me, it's perfect. It's lovely in the hand. I can get all 4 fingers. It's perfect. And I have a medium to large hand. So I get all 4 fingers on it. And it's got the axis lock, which works perfectly. It flicks out perfectly. I'm going to stutter now that I've got it. But this is another thing that I'm going to say about Ganzo knives, that I hear people getting the new knives and say, oh, they're stiff, they're this. I'm going to have to say, right from the beginning, I listened to the advice of others, and I watched so many videos. And the one thing that I heard was, whatever you do, don't loosen this pivot screw in the beginning. Just work through it. I mean, I ended up with sore thumbs, fingers, trying to flick the knife to get it to loosen. But do you want to know something? All my blades, I've had them for months now. They're pretty well centered. This one's always been a wee bit off. I showed it, but it's not moved. Since I've got it, it's not moved any further off. I Loctited it once I'd got over the first period and got it loosened. I put a bit of Loctite, blue Loctite in there. It's never moved since, and neither have all the rest of my Ganzos. Now, whether I've just been lucky, that could be the case. But the one thing I think I'll advise any new Ganzo owners is just plough through that first week of a stiff knife, just trying to do it, because it seems to work out better in the long run by doing that rather than loosening and trying to adapt the pivot to the knife. So, what else we got to say about this blade? It cuts, it's pretty to look at. I like carrying it in my pocket because of this lovely rounded edge here. When it's in your pocket, it's in, it's sitting down in your pocket. You're putting your hand in this way and you're coming past this edge. You don't feel it. It sits lovely in the pocket. It really does. Don't feel it. I'm going to do an awful lot of M's. There's nothing more I can say. I'm absolutely thrilled with it. It's just a super EDC knife. Absolutely super. It has done everything I've asked of it. There's nothing I have asked of this little knife that it hasn't done. It lasts all day. It cuts anything it should do. It sharpens at will. It doesn't take anything to come in and strop it at night, and it usually comes back unless you've had a really hard day. But I just love it. I can't say enough about it. I would highly recommend this to anybody. But that's and this is another thing I'm learning. Again, whether I've just been lucky or not, I don't know. But I have only had one bad Ganzo, and I haven't got it here with me. I'll show it in the next video. It's a wee tiny, it was a £4 Ganzo I bought, which is, that's it. The rest I have had no troubles with. The blade centre mightn't be right down the centre of them. That's fine, doesn't matter. There's been no rubbing. I've had no other mechanical problems. I've been able to take them apart, and I haven't wrecked any screws so far. But I mean, they are a bit softer, but I haven't done it. So what I'm going to say is, my recommendation, if you're going to have a go at this knife, for the sake of $10, even if you do get a bad one, my name's maybe not going to be mud, but I honestly, it's such a good little blade. Such a good little blade. Go for it. Try it and see if it's your first Ganzo. Look at that blade shape. I mean, all that work. I mean, the swedging at the top. It's lovely. It's cut out. You can see inside there. It's drilled out to keep the weight down to 2.8. It's a lovely clip. Then all the Ganzo clips are great. They keep it in well. They're not iodinized. I think they're painted blue. But what I've done on mine, because I've seen other people who had these, and after a couple of weeks they started to wear off, clear nail varnish. Put a wee drop on the top of it. That's it. Clear nail varnish keeps it. Look at them. They look as if they're new. So that's what I do. So my tips for Ganzos, and for this knife in particular, clear nail varnish on all your blues. Stop them wearing away, and don't adjust the pivot. Let it settle in for a week or two. Get the sore fingers. It's worth it in the end, because I literally haven't had a bad one. So there we go, folks. That was a bit higgledy-piggledy, but I just wanted to get over this new form. I don't want to start comparing Ganzos or any of my other knives to what they're supposed to look like or what people perceive them to be. I'm just going to rate them on the knife that they are. This one, I will give 4.5 out of 5. And the only reason I'm taking the half off is the blue anodization. If you don't do something about it, it just fades off. And it's a wee bit off centre. I've tried everything to get it in centre. It won't come, but that's it. There's no rubbing. It's not close to the edge. And it hasn't moved now since I Loctited this. It has not moved, no matter how much I use it and flick it. So there we go. A bit higgledy-piggledy. Sorry about that. Hopefully the next one will be a bit smoother, but my recommendation, buy. It's a great little buy, and I hope you have as much fun with it as I've had with mine. Take care, everybody. Night night. God bless, Patty.